Hi, everyone. I'm Alec Fischr. I'm the founder of Fischr Media. Fischr Media is a media company based in Minneapolis that's focused on telling diverse and authentic stories about the Midwest region and bringing them to national and international audiences to consume. Right now, there is a huge selective representation problem in the media industry. A lot of the media companies you watch content from are based on the East and West Coasts. There's a couple sprinkled in Chicago, but the majority of stories are from the East and West Coasts. And when those companies send people to other regions, they often don't understand the culture, they're not connected, and they have to struggle to create authentic content because they're not from those locations. That's a problem for me as a storyteller. It's a problem for me growing up in the Midwest region. There are over 68 million people who live in the Midwest. It's a huge area not to be covering accurately. And why is this significant? There's a lot of stuff happening contributing to national conversation in the Midwest. Isra, who's a youth climate change activist, Andrea Jenkins, a visible trans pioneer. You have people like Lizzo, Ilhan Omar, even the Floyd protests that happened this past summer. These are all just from one city in the Midwest. So imagine all the 12 states, what's not being covered. As a filmmaker from Fischr Media, this is how we're going to make money. The first way we're going to make money is through brand partnerships and sponsored series with companies. The second way is by producing short documentaries and feature docs and licensing and distributing those to streaming platforms like Netflix and HBO. The third way is through digital advertising revenue, creating original content, putting it out on YouTube, and making ads back from every 1,000 views. And what that specifically on YouTube will look like, we're looking for 3 years in advance. Our growth trajectory is hoping to reach 100,000 subscribers after 3 years, an average daily view count on our content of 98,000 views, and based on our average RPMs right now, that'll equal about $25,000 per month in ad revenue. That's not including brand partnerships and licensing agreements, just YouTube, and we're pretty confident that that projection will remain accurate moving forward. We've got some current traction already, which is exciting. We've worked with brands like Mall of America and Hilton Resorts. We've been able to pitch to places like Snap Inc. and PBS, and they have continued interest in watching what we're doing moving forward. And then we also have reached 25,000 followers on Instagram and are blue check verified, which I think just adds to the validity of the work that we're doing. We also have a competitive advantage in the Midwest. Like I said earlier, when these folks fly people in from the East and West Coasts, they often have an air of entitlement. They don't understand the culture and they're not truly connected to the people here. We are based in Minneapolis. We're based in the Midwest. We have natural connections to all of these folks and to their networks. And that helps a more authentic story come through when we're interviewing because there's already a natural trust built in between us and the subjects we're talking to. We also have a warehouse production studio where we can film everyone in-house. The other fun part about what we're doing is that a lot of folks that are filming in the Midwest are focused on local content for local audiences. And we think by focusing on national and international audiences, we'll be able to emerge as the premier media hub in the Midwest. Right now, Fischr Media is going to launch our first original series, COVID Confessions, beginning in February. It's covering over 75 workers who have experienced the pandemic in different ways. We're hoping to get between 200,000 and 300,000 views per episode based on the PR campaign we're building, and that will bring in significant ad revenue. My Father's Stop and Shop is a documentary we're building with an immigrant family whose gas station burned down during the Floyd protests. They had just put in 10,000 gallons of gasoline and it was set on fire. The found footage is incredible, and we're working really intimately with the family on that project. And then we're working on a feature-length doc, The Sound Off 76th, which examines the building that Flight Time Studios was housed in the 80s and 90s. There were over 30 Billboard #1 hits recorded with Flight Time Studios, everyone from Janet Jackson to Shaka Khan, and that building is being demolished right now. And Fischr Media has exclusive access to film the demolition, to interview key stakeholders like the city and developer, and we're working on bringing in partners who were key players in the 80s and 90s to talk about their experiences in that building. It's a project I'm excited about as I grew up about 10 blocks away from the building, so it's a personal connection for me as well. What we're looking for today, we're looking for any company who might want to be a brand sponsor or work with us in a partnership deal to create original content with their name on it. We're also interested in introductions to places like the Ford Foundation, grant application or grant access to larger companies that we don't currently have access for. And then we're also looking for investors for the projects we're working on. We're looking for $10,000 to $50,000 investment packages that you would then make a percentage of equity when we sell those or license those to streaming services, ideally making back 2 to 3 times your investment. The team we're working with, we have won national Emmys, Peabody Awards. There are experts in the field. We're also 100% LGBTQ, women, and BIPOC focused, which I'm really excited about. And all of this is about representation. All of this is about representing the Midwest in new ways. It's about representing the folks behind the camera in new ways. And I hope that Fischr Media will not only change the way the Midwest is viewed, but will also change the game in terms of how the media industry has operated from behind the camera perspective. I'm really excited about this. We've got a lot of exciting momentum moving forward, and I can't wait to talk with you more about that. We'd love to bring you on board. So I'm open to questions, and thank you, Impact Ventures, for the opportunity.